Hello, fellow watchers and enjoyers. That's the wrong introduction, because this is One More Match, the wrestling YouTube channel where I, Ash, and Piggy decide to go through, and first and foremost, we are reviewing WWE ECW, and you may be wondering why we're doing Raw. Well, Vengeance is this Sunday, in fucking timeline, of course. It's obviously the Sunday following this Raw episode and an ECW episode, and SmackDown's not involved, so we don't have to watch SmackDown in 06. Thank God.
Yeah, what do you get on SmackDown in 06? Greg Holly, Rey Mysterio, Gregory Helms, Matt Hardy. Undertaker's at least on SmackDown, so that's good. But some episodes of ECW are involved in Raw, and they were barely involved on this episode of Raw, because I thought they were invading Raw. I thought they'd have a major impact. I thought all the 26 white boys would go the boss and fucking jump them, but no. But for kind of episodes where ECW are involved in Raw or SmackDown, but it's going to be Raw, let's be honest.
Yes.
Because even WWE goes, SmackDown doesn't exist. No one likes SmackDown. And then everyone goes, we like SmackDown. It's only recently they went, yeah, you like SmackDown. So yeah, for bonus episodes, we will be doing Raw or maybe the pay-per-view.
I mean, a lot of the time we will be covering the pay-per-views of the time, simply because, well, it's a fairly important piece, you know, it's the progression. I mean, ECW doesn't get that many pay-per-views, so ultimately you do need to, you know, you need to take it as you will, and the progression of the storylines of ECW will usually happen on the Raw pay-per-view, so, yeah.
And SmackDown.
But yeah, so obviously we're going to be reviewing the June 19th edition of Raw in 2006 from Rochester, New York, and at the Blue Cross Arena. Oh boy. Safe to say, some of this is the textbook Raw 2006. Stupid, ridiculous, wanky, dumb. Haha, penis. Haha, penis.
Vince loves cocks.
Haha, funny. And especially because this Raw is basically setting up the scene that obviously DX has just reformed, of course, and, well, it's Shawn and Triple H in their 40s going, haha, suck it, haha, balls. That's absolutely taking the piss, this is.
Let's get ready to review it. But, yeah, this is this is Triple H and Shawn being told by Vince, we want you to do this, we want you to say this. Well, I'm going to assume Vince was like, guys, would it be funny if you just said, I like cocks? Because no way Hunter is sitting at home with his 3 children on top of his $1 grand mansion. He doesn't have a mansion. It's a million mansion. No way is he sitting back, kicking back in the chair like that, like, you know what would be funny, Stephanie? Okay, what, Paul? If I told your dad, my father-in-law, that he loved cocks on national TV, like sat around the dinner table, and she's like, you know, Paul, that's very funny, you know, some might say. And he's like, yeah, I think so, Stephanie. I'm gonna call up Higginbottom now and see what he thinks. Like, I hardly think that's what he was doing. I think Vince was just sat there one night talking to what's the fucking name? Linda.
Yeah.
Linda, do you know what'd be funny? If my son-in-law said I loved cocks, and Linda's like, oh fuck, why can't I? Can I divorce you yet? No. Fine. I'll be depressed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously this is a reform of DX. And DX in 2006, they're 40 years old, and they're just, haha, penis. Please, make it stop.
See, we'll get into it in a minute, but they are all over this show, so we will be talking about DX for a majority of this review. But DX basically worked in the 90s because the 90s were an ever-changing culture.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like if you it's like if Nirvana was around in the 2000s, would it have worked as much as it did in the early 90s when you had grunge? Some would say it would work, some say it would be Foo Fighters, but it wouldn't really have the same impact as it did in the 90s.
I mean, take out a lot of the rock bands who were just coming of age, like, before Nirvana and then after Nirvana, just no fucking way.
It's also like, if you take Queen, for example, would they have still been well as remembered had Freddie Mercury not died? I know that might be harsh to say, but...
I mean, maybe not harsh, but yeah.
Yeah, like it's just that thing. It's like Queen wouldn't have stayed around, like, you have to admit, in the 90s. Could you imagine, like, in 95? Do you want to go see Queen Of course, all the granddads were like, "Oh, I fucking love Queen." But you know, the hipper lads were like, "I want to see Radiohead. I want to see Weezer." Oh, no one wants to see Weezer. Yeah,
People like Weezer. Come on.
I do like Weezer actually. Say it ain't so.
That's definitely what it sounds like. So for the first bit of the night is obviously Vince getting led along, and haha, funny 2006. He walks by. Oh, fuck, what order does it go in?
He walks in.
He cuts a promo just like, "Oh, DX, I'm gonna kick you up the ass, and I'm gonna kick you in the face," and it's like, "Oh, all right, sound."
He basically cuts a backstage promo where he's addressing the fans who are like, "Hey, DX, whoa!" And he's basically like, "The DX reunion won't happen under my regulations," or some shit like that. And then he walks out, and then there's a man holding a rooster, and Vince goes, "What are you doing here, pal?" And he's like, "Vince, I was told to give you this. Who sent you?" "I don't know. Someone sent me." "That's a rooster." "No, it's a cock, sir. I was told you like cocks." And he just he walks off. And then Sci-Fi get what they want when someone just starts doing that to Vince. Someone starts doing that, and it's obviously, if you couldn't get it, it was an alien, and an alien follows Vince, and then Vince says, "I'm not in the mood."
All right, at least he does the fucking, he does a little strut, and then he runs into some strippers.
Male strippers, not female.
Obviously the one of them was like writer of one of the shows in creative, which is always strange to think of. And obviously, the guy in the fucking thong and his fucking knobs going back and forth with the baby oil, and then he's just like, "What the fuck, guys?" And then I think finally the final bit of this segment is the guy comes in like, "Oh, there's a delivery, sir." "Oh, what is it?" "Oh, it's your penis enlargement pump." And he's just looking at him like, "You fucking fuck off."
We also see the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. And Dusty cuts a promo basically saying, "Buy my DVD,
yes.
Buy my DVD, buy my DVD, please. I've no money, buy it." And basically, and he goes, "Does the male strippers want my DVD? See the guy in the cash?" And he runs. I don't want to say Dusty runs off. Dusty can't really run, let's be honest. He'll just jiggle like I do. So he kind of waltzes off, and he confronts the male strippers. We assume so. He might have ran into that rooster who's a big Dusty Rhodes fan. "He's an American dream," doing that shtick. But yeah, and then we cut to Vince in the arena, and Vince walks out. He does the strut like that, and he goes, "Oh yeah, DX won't stand under my feet. I'm gonna take this 12-inch boot," and they all boo. "This 12-inch foot, tip of my shoe, and I'm gonna shove it straight up Triple H's ass."
No, his butt cheeks.
And then I'm gonna do it with my back heel. I'm gonna kick Shawn Michaels' teeth down his throat. And then Shane comes out and says, "Vince, we have to go." "Why do we have to go?" "Stephanie's in labour." "What? Stephanie's in labour, come on." Vince's like, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go." And they run into Jonathan Coachman. I will let Ash take over in a second, but I'm just going to run through the Vince stuff. He basically takes over. Jonathan Coachman comes in, and he goes, "Sir. And Shane's like, "We have to go." And then Vince, I think it's a great line, "Stephanie was always bad at timing, that bitch." And I'm like, if that was any other person, I would go, "That's not believable." But that's Vince.
Yeah, Vince is unreasonable as fuck. Like, of course he's gonna say something like that.
Like I generally don't think that was an ad-libbed line. I think Vince was just generally...
it was very, very planned, but just a funny, unreasonable. Yeah. She's in labour now.
Yeah, but do you think Vince would be like that in real life?
But I've got DX to deal with.
Vince is in the back like, suck it, wee. He's delighted with himself.
Yeah, it's a great first promo to start off Raw. I swear it is, but it is just like, haha, penis, haha, stripper, haha. It's like, oh, lads, it's not fucking funny. All right, who's getting a belly cackle off of this? Like, Vince likes cocks. He likes cocks. It's like, what is wrong with you?
I did cackle kind of at the alien, because it's the fucking alien there.
I mean, obviously the backstory to that is obviously now ECW's on Sci-Fi. They were just like, yeah, we're fucking on Sci-Fi, bitch. And then Sci-Fi's like, can you guys get an alien on Sci-Fi? It's like, no. What about a zombie? Done. Done.
I don't have to draw the line at an alien, but when we're okay with a zombie. But an alien's too unrealistic, but a zombie's realistic.
Exactly. That zombie has vocal cords. Legend. And this just sets us up nicely for the first match. Which, it's a women's match. Oh, it's a women's match in 2006. It's a bra and panties match, and it's like, come on.
Let me just set the landscape for you, right? Now, I might be a bit off in this timeline, so sorry if I am. But in 2006, in Western America, or just America in general, I think we're called the West, aren't they? They're called the West, in terms of wrestling. In terms of, like, wrestling, women's wrestling in 06 in America, it's very shit. Nothing's really happening. You don't have them standout names. You go to Japan, there's fucking women just beating the absolute piss out of each other because it's Japan. But there's a little company called NWA TNA. Now, I might be a bit wrong about this. It might happen in 07, but it's around the same time, so suck it. And basically, they do a little thing called the Knockouts Division. And, you know, throughout time, it got shitter because people came in and went, women's wrestling, strip. And they went, fuck off, strip, fuck off. And basically, in NWA TNA, there was two women. One was called Awesome Kong, another one was called Gail Kim. So, on one side, you have Awesome Kong beating the shit out of Gail Kim. On the other side, you have Terry jerking off to Mickey James getting people's clothes off. So, like, I love the contrast, where it's like one channel you have Awesome Kong kicking the shit out of Gail Kim, other channel, Mickey James stripping people. Like, the contrast is brilliant.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know if it's necessarily started yet, but obviously in early TNA you had what's her name, Trinity. She was one who would just do fucking moonsaults, and she was fighting the men. She was with Kid Cash for a little bit. Fucking wrestler, fuck's sake. She was with Kid Cash for a little bit. Where is he? Then he got jealous, and then. Trinity. Trinity was a fucking cool stunt woman who would throw herself off shit. It was actually quite a good wrestler. And even she at the time was actually having proper singles matches. I don't know if she made it to the point, but there was suggested that she may have, like, she fought for an actual title at some point. Like, you know, she was just very good. And this kind of... She did come into ECW later on. She was the manager of the FBI.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just she was a great wrestler, but never really got much to do. She would usually interrupt and hit people like a Hurricane Rana, like a fucking, or you know, something like that. She's very good. Is the main point. But obviously, this was also happening at the same time. But yeah, the first match is genuinely Candice Michelle and Mickey James versus Maria and Tori Wilson in a bra and panties tag team match. Guesses on how long it actually went. Obviously, look, because there's not really much to talk about in this match, I was always a Candice Michelle stan. I'll be honest. That was me. You got me. I'm caught. It's like in 2006, still quite degrading, but it's a part of the time, you know. I'd rather not fucking see it at all, I'll be honest.
And I don't think it's the worst thing that ever happened to a wrestler. I don't know the name of a promotion, and Ash is going to go, but this is true. There's a promotion out there, I don't know the name of it, and I'm not going to name it if I knew the name, where a woman wrestled, and I think an evil manager came in or something, and a lot of people chanted at the woman, and Ash is going to look at me and go, you're bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting. Rape her. So, yeah, this happened in a promotion where a bunch of fans, in an alt-right promotion, chanted rape her at a women's wrestler.
Sounds reasonable.
You know, I understand it's America, anything can happen, but I would much rather strip than be, you know, someone going, I want to rape you, and, you know, unconsensually, and just, like, I understand you're stripping, but...
At least they're in control.
Yes.
Is the point. Yeah, and it's just simply, this match is just... It's just Mickey James fucking up everyone. Mickey James, who is the woman's champion at this time.
Doesn't matter.
And this is obviously Well, this has to not be too long off the feud with Trish, right?
Yes, it is.
It's like she's still in her like crazy arc, you know. Yeah, they had that match at fucking Mania 22, and yeah, now she's in a bra and panties match. Fortunately, she doesn't get any of her clothes off because she's like, I'm not fucking doing that, and she just strips off everyone, strips off someone in the crowd, and steals JR's cowboy hat. So yeah, sound great time. Why the fuck are we here? Like, it just, at least they're in control. At least it's not a fucking bloke stripping them and, you know, someone getting a bit horny. At least they're fully in control. Okay. But yeah, it's just there's just no place for it ultimately. Like, yeah, sure, as a kid, like, oh boobs, oh boobs. Like, they're women. They're fucking adults, and they're having to degrade themselves on fucking live TV for this shit. I hope they're at least paid well.
Yeah, it's just the thing I don't understand. I understand you don't have to like women's wrestling, but you do have to appreciate how much women's wrestling really advanced over the past 20 years. Obviously, it's still horrible.
You say 20 years, I'd say about
15, 10, 15.
10 maximum.
Although, yeah, I find the Saudi thing bullshit because you're allowed half-naked men to wrestle in the tight little underwears, but you have to get the women. The women have to have clothes on. Like, a bra and panties match would not happen in Saudi Arabia, so be thankful for that, wrestlers. Just be smart. Go to Saudi Arabia, they can't make you do a bra and panties match. But, just remember that. But yeah, this is very degrading, but at least they have control. But I do like to think that Vince was like, if you don't strip, I'm firing you because I'm Vince McMahon. Because we all know the allegations about Vince, and we're not getting into that. But
maybe not phrase it as we all love the allegations about Vince.
We don't love the allegations, but we all know them.
Yes.
And yeah, I like to think Vince was a madman because pretty much Vince had control. So anyone could have approved this idea, but it was definitely Vince who approved it. There was no way Bruce Pritchard is sat there reading his newspaper and he's like, Vince, I think it's a good idea if women strip on Raw. And Vince like, yeah, 50 grand to you. Like, I think Vince has just sat there one night talking to Linda and he's like, the women have to strip on Raw.
I like how you act like Vince and Linda actually have a proper marriage and it's not just there for status reasons.
No, I like to imagine the marriages, you know, like on EastEnders, there's Dan and Angie, where they're just together just to be together.
Yeah.
But I like to think that Vince thinks he's in love with Linda, and Linda's like, oh God, can I divorce him? And so Vince's like, Linda. Oh, what now, Vince? Would it be funny if Triple H said, I love cocks? And then Linda's like, oh God, can I divorce it? No, wait 10 years. Linda, oh fuck off, Vince, I'm trying to have me dinner. Would it be funny if I got women to strip on Raw? Fuck off, Vince. He's just like, Linda, I've got a great idea. What now? What happens if we get Balls Mahoney versus Johns? Oh, fuck off, Vince. I'm trying to fucking sleep. It's 3 a.m. It's just like a little kid on Christmas. Linda, I've got this great idea. And Linda's just like, please, someone divorce me. I just like to think he's just a little kid. But we all know how that marriage goes. How you going, Linda? Fuck off. I want you to die. How are you, Vince? I want you to die. Grand, see you tomorrow. That's probably how the marriage is for the past 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's a marriage for status, right? Marriage for, you know, she's with Vince, she's connected to a famous company, you know, gets a bit more sway, gets to do a shit political career, a fucking loser, and gets to do that. Yeah, next up, I don't know if there was a promo in between this or not. There probably was about 3.
Oh, there was. I believe this is where we get DX, or DX.
What was I doing? You're shouting a bit, mate.
Oh, sorry.
You're shouting a bit.
Sorry.
It's 9 o'clock now. We've got neighbours.
I'm sorry. I'm just so used to being in my bedroom. But yeah, we see DX and the Spirit Squad are in the ring, and DX are like, we've got 2 words for you.
Well, yeah, they're like, we want it now. Face us now, DX. We're gonna beat you guys. And they go, 2 words for you, boys.
Suck it.
Look up. And they get slimed in the middle of the ring, as it is 2006 again. Why were you sliming people in the middle of the ring? Can we stop doing the spot where people get shit on from above, please? I know it's 2006 and they didn't use it that much, but they kind of did. They did the shit as well at some point. Like, I just did it all to the Spirit Squad because I had one gimmick.
I would like I personally would my favorite, for people who want to know, my favorite of the blood bath or the goo bath or the shit bath is obviously the famous one of Nash, where they're like, Nash, look up. Nash just looks up. Where's the blood? And the blood's literally behind him.
Like a meter behind him. Ah, fuck. Although it fits Nash completely, though. Like, perfect for Nash's character.
I do like to imagine Nash was backstage, like, Nash, we want you to take a blood bath.
I'm not fucking doing it. Fuck off.
We want you to do it.
How much money are you giving me?
Alright, I'm starting this little promotion called TNA. Not interested. Scott Hall will be there. Oh, I'm interested. Do I get to wrestle? No. I get to sell my ass? Yeah.
You know what? One thing we did get, which I'll continue us on forwards, we do get a sponsored, like, reminder of Big Vis versus Charlie Haas, as Charlie Haas broke. Obviously, it's the famous spot where he runs the ropes and he knocks Lillian off the ropes. And she, I don't know if she actually injured herself, it's just story. But, you know, there's always a chance. And obviously, she's like, I want an apology. And he gives it to her. Kind of, not really, but he does. And then Vis is like, I don't like it. Obviously, Viscera, the world's largest love machine, dressed in full, like, fucking pajamas or some shit. We get to see a match happen between Charlie Haas and Viscera as good fucking lord.
We also see that Charlie Haas was like, yeah, me and what was her name again? Lillian.
Yeah.
Me and Lillian had some talk, pillow talk. And Viscera's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, during the match, he's like, he thinks he's taunting him by like, what do you mean? And it's like, this, you don't want to know, mate. You don't want to know what it means. Because, you know, pillow talk's not a fucking, it's not a one-sided thing. You don't just get into a bed mutually and then, you know, after the fucking fact. Like, it's not like he's in the bed and she's like, fuck off Charlie Haas. You know, pillow talks fucking... And he's like, what do you mean? What did you say? You don't want to know this. You don't want to know.
He's just asking a question, let's be honest.
He doesn't know what it is.
What do you mean?
He's a proper 3-pump kind of chump. He'll get tired after one. Go, well, there you go. You go on top. I'm tired.
Most wrestlers in the 90s.
Apparently this ended in a no contest. I honestly don't remember this match at all.
I don't either.
I suppose also, just to kind of fully check it, the women's match went 1 minute 28.
Yeah.
This match apparently went 1 minute. No, this match went 2 minutes 23. And yeah, I genuinely can't remember the fucking finish for the life of me. Apparently it was a no contest. This didn't win. Charlie Haas didn't win. What the fuck happened here? There's probably a lot of this show in general, though, because a lot of the show, it's just really short matches surrounded by a lot of promos that take away a lot of the shine from it.
Yeah, Raw hasn't really found its footmark yet post Attitude Era, because they're trying to do what's made Russo successful. And for people who want context,
It's that car crash TV, right?
Yeah, I don't like giving Russo credit for the Attitude Era. I think he's a horrible booker, one of the worst bookers ever. And I'm not even a Jim Cornette fan. I don't like his booking. His booking is fucking horrible.
I like Jim Cornette.
No, I don't. I mean Vince Russo. I don't like Jim Cornette either. Everything's about modern wrestling sucks. They're not staying true to the style. Like, Jim, nothing's gonna work from the 70s. It's fucking 2000.
No. Hey, look, all right. He's got some. He's great. He knows how to get fucking attention, right? And that's what he's doing.
But yeah,
he's just like us. He's playing up for the fucking camera, and he's an absolute mentalist. But I'd give him some fucking credit. I'd give him some fucking. I'd let him fucking book a promotion.
No, Jim or...
Oh, Jim, not Russo.
You know what, bro? I think it'd be a funny idea, bro.
Russo's a complete fucking hack, is what he is.
Yeah, because Russo, I know we're on about a match, but we're on about booking here, so let's just talk about
I
booking.
mean, we can talk about booking when we're talking about Charlie Haas versus Viscera, you know, like, I think we can manage that one.
But my thoughts is, what worked for Russo in the Attitude Era wouldn't work in, like, WCW, because WCW were like, okay, Vince, what's your idea? How about I win the world title? 50 grand to you, Russo. 50k.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of it's credited to Russo, and that's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of other heads in there, and a lot of it wouldn't have worked if the star power wasn't there either.
Also, but Russo's best promo, if you want a best Russo promo, is to shoot one on Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, you big, bald bastard, you're fired. I mean, most of Scott Steiner's promos from that year are great too. Ric Flair, you old hag, you should have took a cab and fixed your yellow, crooked teeth. Another great one. But yeah, Russo, and then he tried in NWA TNA. Obviously, the fans knew that he was.
And even in 09, 010, when Dixie hired him back, and then he accidentally leaked it by emailing one of the dirt sheet writers.
I think it was Brian Alvarez. How do you confuse Brian Alvarez for Dixie Carter?
I don't fucking know, mate, honestly. It's absolute shambles. Like I said, it would be fun to go through some... I don't know, this has been a fun... As much as this episode of Raw was absolute hot garbage, it's still a nice time capsule as to what it was like back then. And, you know, some of the shit I'll definitely complain about, like, do I ever want to see a bra and panties match again? No, I fucking don't. Let them wrestle. Let them have a 3-minute match, alright? Everybody else is getting fucking 2 minutes. You know, give them a little bit more.
It's just... it is a time... Like, it is a time capsule. Because, it's like... I will briefly mention it. It's like... I don't know the name of the show, but it's where they get a time capsule from, like, the 80s, and they open it, and it's like Jim Will Fix It Metal, Gary Glitter the LP, and a Gollywog. I think that's what they're called.
Yes.
And basically they're like, yeah, let's just bury this back under. It's basically how I describe it. It's a time capsule. Some of the things would age well, some of the things wouldn't age well.
I mean, it's just like all the humours here is just, ha-ha, penis, ha-ha, gay, ha-ha,
thongs,
dwarf. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, more on those later.
But yeah, like,
and thongs.
It's just you can't erase the history. Like, that's what I must say about the network. You can get rid of Roddy Piper versus I forget the wrestler where he wore half blackface paint, but you can't really get rid of that because that's history. That's a time capsule. You're basically going, this past does not exist. It would literally, like, an example like of wiping the history would literally be like, if you go on the network right now, there's only 2 people I think you can't Google search into the network engine. Obviously, we know one of them's Benoit. The other one, I think, is Muhammad Hassan. They want you to forget Muhammad Hassan. I understand why. But he is a time capsule into what worked in 05. To me, personally, you can't get rid of that.
Yeah, exactly. It's if you're willing to put it on... It's basically, if you're willing to do it now, you can't really regret it later. Yeah, sure, you'll learn from that time. But ultimately, if you fucking decided, yes, I'm going to put this in my entertainment product... You know, you do deserve to get called on it if it does later become offensive, but you also do get to say, look, it's a fucking different time. All right, you think I'm still like, you know, it's when, and this is going to lead to a tangent as I do want to go straight to the next match, but you know, it's when people will bring up tweets from like 2010, where you know the humor's notably more edgier. You know, nobody really uses social media as much, and then you compare it to someone now, and it's like. I was like 15 years younger then. Like, you know, you're allowed personal growth.
My favourite one from being dug up in the past is, because it's a wrestling channel, so obviously you'll know this one, is Solo Sikoa. When the PS4 originally came out, he tweeted, yo, could someone hook me up with a PS4? I don't know, that was his tweet. And it's like, I'm just imagining Solo Sikoa now in his 20s or early 30s, like, fuck. Why did I tweet this?
Hey, look, I hope someone got him that PS4. That's the main fucking point.
But yeah, I do hate when people bring up tweets from the past, or like they did blackface in 2005. It's like, yeah, because you could, even though it was wrong, you could do it. It's like I got into an argument with someone on Discord because someone was like, the N-word is wrong to say, you can't watch this movie. And I'm like, I know the N-word is wrong, but if you just go back to the 1930s, they're not all going to the the black community going, well, chums, how are you? They're yelling slurs at them. They're fucking spitting on them. You can't just erase that. I hate that when they're like, we can't say these words in movies. You can. You're allowed to, because you're making a time documentary.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a time, it's like in Blazing Saddles, a fucking classic like comedy like western.
Is that the one where we see, where's Mongo? Here comes Mongo.
Maybe. But you know, it plays on a lot of the like. It plays on a lot of the themes, like, oh, all Westerners, everybody's white, you know, like, you know, it's a great fucking film regardless. Blazing Saddles, fantastic. But you know, you can't strip away the genuine shit that would have been said and would have happened, right?
Yeah, and then people went, Piggy, you're out wild for this, but the N word's not right to say, and I'm like, but you can't pretend that word wasn't used.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still used today, but it's not. You don't see it as much used. You still look. You go on the street, Redneck Joe's probably shouting, "Come out, you N word!" Like, it still happens, but it's not as national as it was 50, 60, 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was a different time.
But I suppose also, one thing I will say though is using, you know, maybe not. Maybe blackface for comedy reasons. Probably still not something you should be doing.
No. No.
But it's comedy. It's supposed to be offensive in some form.
Yeah.
Some people like it. Some people hate it. Let's carry on. Was there any skit in between the Charlie Haas and Viscera?
There was, and it was. This either happened.
Was it the Eugene promo?
No. This came after. I think between this there was. It might have been between Charlie Haas versus Viscera. And there was a promo where Paul Heyman was talking to the coach, and he's like,
"Oh yes,
coach."
But I'm Churchill. Oh yes,
Winston.
Not Winston. The dog.
Oh yeah, I love that bulldog. Where he's basically like, "I have a great idea: Edge and Orton versus RVD and Sabu." No, not Sabu. Kurt Angle on ECW on Sci-Fi.
It sounds like a banger. Absolutely great match. Great suggestion. Fantastic stuff.
And then he goes, I also have a locker room. And I'm just going to quote Dead Docs. I love when they say this. I've got a bus full of white boys in the back. 40 of them. The whole roster of white boys. And they're coming to ECW, or they're coming to Raw if I don't get what I want. And what do you want? I want Balls Mahoney versus John Cena. You could have literally said.
Hey, balls.
You could have
balls. He's got balls. He does, and they're big. Balls.
You could have literally said, I want John Cena defended I want John Cena on ECW. Like, I want the Undertaker. Well, maybe not the Undertaker. I want some big star on ECW.
Mate, I'd even take Sandman versus John Cena, not fucking Balls Mahoney. And he's on the longest match of the fucking show. He can't even use his chair. That's his whole thing.
I don't know if that's including the post.
Other than having testicles.
I don't know if this includes the post-match thing, but
no.
Before that we have Umanga versus John McChesney.
John McChesney.
Chesney, alright.
Which is one of the most jobber names I've heard in my life.
Do you reckon he was a real wrestler? Do you want to click on that and see if he's a
real wrestler? A real wrestler. Famously known as Richard Weed. Not famously known. He was a Pennsylvania-based wrestler. And he looked a bit like Raven.
He does.
Not really, just as a beard and long hair.
But yeah, Umanga squashes John within a minute and 6 seconds, and we just went into a debate whether the spike is actually a good finisher or a bad finisher. And I basically said, depending on who does it, like if Spike Dudley does the spike to you, are you going to enjoy it? No, you're not, because you're going to be like, why is Spike Dudley doing the spike? Umanga does it, you're like, holy fuck, this is life changing.
Yeah, but you can kind of say that about literally everybody, literally every move.
You probably could. Yeah.
You know, you could say that about the overdrive if the guy fucking like, and he starts like grabbing his neck and he's like, oh, it's broken. You know, like you make any move big, but the Samoan spike is just sound. Cheers, nice one.
But yeah.
Why is he not hitting with his massive ass? Mate, knock him out with his bum. I'd die in there.
I was trying to do the Too Cool dance, but I couldn't.
But yeah, it's a glorified squash match. This sets up his match with Eugene at Vengeance because obviously Umaga injured Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Injured Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he's staying home. And I think this is where we get the Eugene promo.
Yeah, it's either between John Cena. It's either between this or the Randy Orton match before the Randy Orton match, where Eugene's like, "I'm gonna fight Umanga. I'm just gonna call him Umanga because of William Regal," and he's like giving this big hype promo, and then just look at me now comes in. Rob Conway comes in, and he's big league in Eugene. I think Eugene just snaps.
Yeah, he snaps, smashes him in the face, scares Maria, and he's insane. What's he gonna do at Vengeance?
Do you want to know how much?
Lose.
Do you know how much longer he lasted?
Who?
Eugene.
Didn't he get injured like in a couple months?
He does, or he might have got injured before this. He might have got re-injured. But you know how long he lasts? Till 2008.
Fuck yeah.
But he slowly.
He gets progressively less screen time.
Yeah.
Throughout. So promo setting up Vengeance, and obviously next up we have the true main event. Didn't go on last, but it should have been. John Cena versus Balls Mahoney. Wow, and he doesn't even get his music. The crowd can't even chant balls, balls, balls. He's got testicles, boys. They can't even do that. They have a nothing match. John Cena actually bumps him a little bit. Not too much. It's fucking 2006 John Cena, of course. And this is all here just to set up Sabu coming out attacking him, doing a really cool dive through the announce table as a leg drop. John Cena's bleeding. That was a good angle to set up the match at Vengeance, honestly.
Yeah, and then we get Randy Orton versus. Oh no! We also get JR. Now we might be confusing segments for segments, but we get JR interviewing Kane. Now me and Ash were dumbfounded because we're like, "Who's Kane feuding with?" And then the minute they mentioned another Kane, I was sat there giggling like a kid Keanu, just giggling.
How I was sat through all the show, I'm just like, fucking hell, we really doing this shit?
I was just giggling through half the show because I'm like, this is so stupid.
Because, and it's like, Kane. I'm not going to do a JR impression.
It's Kane.
Just like, Kane, why are you so scared of him? And Kane just goes, I knew him, man. He was more demented than me. And then he doesn't go into it and he gets all sheepish because it just hurts too much. It just hurts. And he walks off, and this sets up Kane versus Luke Gallows, Imposter Kane, at Vengeance.
I don't know whether this is true or not, and I'm probably confusing this for a fanfic. There's a fucking flyer and mush. But isn't there a rumour that fake Kane was supposed to take over real Kane and actually be the real Kane? The imposter Kane was apparently supposed to turn out to be the real Kane, and the real Kane was supposed to be a fake Kane. So this real Kane was supposed to actually be... The fake Kane was supposed to be the real Kane, and the fake Kane was going to be the real Kane. I know that sounds confusing. And then he was going to I think this is just a theory. Basically, Kane wanted to retire. Glenn Jacobs wanted to retire, so they brought in Kane, Imposter Kane, and then he was supposed to replace actual Kane. I don't know whether it's just a dream I had. And then he was supposed to take over the role. And then Glenn was supposed to be retired. But Glenn went, no, I'm not retired.
Fucking that sounds like ass, I'll be honest.
I know.
It sounds like complete shit. I hope it's not real, because good lord. At least, shit on Glenn Jacobs for being a politician now, but, as a wrestler, fucking tremendous stuff. Had a full career full of, for being a one-note silent monster throughout the first part of his career, he fucking turned it around and had, amazing fucking comedy guy, scary monster, world champion at times. He did his fair share of shit. But yeah, him retiring and being replaced by fucking Luke Gallows, though. Oh, Jesus, get me out.
My problem with Kane is people confuse him for Glenn Jacobs. You can separate the character from the artist. Sure, Glenn Jacobs might say masks aren't real, but do you think Kane, the character, is going, masks aren't real? He's not. He's not. Kane is a fucking character.
Yeah.
You can separate the two. It's why I hate people going, don't mention this wrestler. It's like, yeah, alright, so I can't mention Will Ospreay, or I can't mention Matt Riddle because he possibly raped someone, but even though I'm talking about the character, not the person, you can separate the character from the person. I hate them when people are like, don't talk about Hulk Hogan. Why? He's a racist. Hulk Hogan's not racist. The actual Hulk Hogan, the person, I don't know his name.
I mean, let's be honest, Hulk Hogan is Hulk Hogan. There's no fucking difference between the character here.
What's the one he said in promo? What's the one he said in court?
I don't even fucking go there.
There's one.
I see what he's there, mate. Probably not the best fucking idea to go through, separate the character from the artist, because at some point you do just have to go. Some of these people did horrific shit.
Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna fucking romanticize them because they did some horrific shit.
No, there is exceptions, of course. Like, you can't separate Jimmy Snuka from Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah, but like, where's the line? The line's drawn at your morals, you know? Like, you're like, oh, that's fine. You know, Matt Riddle suspected. He had WWE lawyers, for fuck's sake. Of course he's not getting fucking charged with any. Like, oh, she's mental. Look at her. She's mental. Come on, boys. Come on. Like, it's not fucking... You anybody gets WWE lawyers on it, you're safe, all right? Let's just not fucking play silly knobbers. I don't know, that's not even a fucking game, but you know, like, there are limits, right? That's the point. I'm not gonna fucking be like, oh yeah, these guys are all fine. I still dislike a lot of the wrestlers who were taken out by the speaking out movement because, you know, a lot of very dodgy shit was said. Am I just going to be a fan of this fucking person now?
Slater.
Am I going to be a fan of Jimmy Havoc? No!
Well, no, apparently Jimmy Havoc's actually nice now, apparently.
Yeah, who the fuck cares the amount of heinous shit you was fucking involved in? But the point is...
I do love that in the Botchmania Discord. I'm like, why is Jimmy Havoc not listed? Well, he's actually a nice guy. So people who are accused of crimes... I'm not going to name the crimes, like Darby Allin, you're like, yeah, we draw the line at him, but, you know, Jimmy Havoc, who did beat his wife, and his wife apparently bet him, you know, you're saying he's good now because he basically, he got out of, not prison, he changed his life around. He can be redeemable, but you can't, like, unlist him because, that's all in the past.
Yeah, like, it still exists, it's still out there.
Yeah, because then you can basically do that for anyone.
Yes.
Oh, Jimmy Snuka, yeah, murdered his wife, but...
He's dead now.
Yeah, he's dead.
No, let's not fucking spend too long on this, come on now.
Yeah, it's just, I hate them, the Botchmania Discord, and they probably will hear this, probably not.
No, they fucking won't, let's be honest. Come on now, be reasonable.
Maybe when we hit over 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, in about 7 years.
when the list is gone, the Rule 10 list is gone.
Yeah, let's carry on. Another match to set up more stuff at Vengeance, obviously Randy Orton versus Snitsky. Big, not bold yet Snitsky, does need to be incredibly ridiculous Baron Corbin level of hiding his fucking shit hair. Jesus.
He was, because this comes out next Monday, or Sunday, or Saturday, I figure out when this comes out, but this comes out next week, and basically, he appeared on Raw last night, or last week, he was backstage, and...
Snitsky?
Yes, Snitsky was. And Chelsea Green was like, who do I blame? And then, just like that famous Keith Lee gif, he just pops out from the side and is like, wasn't my fault.
Yeah, the famous line. Why, it was Halloween or something? What the fuck's he there? What's he doing? Hello, dog.
Because apparently they were in his country or something. In his county. Hometown.
Yeah, we are. Hello, dog. Introducing Joey. But yeah, it's just a Randy Orton match. Good headlock. It's a 2-minute 30 match. And it had a Randy Orton headlock in it, for fuck's sake. Which obviously takes its sweet time. Randy kind of, Snitsky gets some offense in. Has a nice, he probably has a boss man slam, let's be honest. I don't think he did. Did a nice, side slam. A nice little, running tackle. But ultimately, Randy, slid under him. Hit with an RKO for the victory, and then after the bell, Jerry goes, look mate, you're on ECW tomorrow, are you excited? And he's like, no. Fuck this, it's ECW, who the fuck cares? John Cena's scared, but I'm not, because I'm tougher than John Cena. And Kurt Angle, fuck you. I don't know, just basically the gist of it.
It's very weird. I don't know whether I would like if I was a higher up wrestler in 06, like if I was like John Cena levels and they went, we're gonna demote you to ECW. I don't know whether I'd be like, cool, or just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like Kurt Angle, for example. I'm like,
I'm not fucking doing that. What do you mean? I'm on Raw or SmackDown, and I'm gonna go to ECW. Who does ECW have? Balls, sound,
Sandman.
like, then ECW need to earn its stripes again, right?
Yeah.
It needs to be a proven entity before you actually commit wrestlers to it. And it's the reason why Kurt Angle was on his way out, right? You went, why the fuck am I here? Why the fuck am I in ECW?
Apparently, the story goes is I think Kurt Angle was just joking, where he pulled his pants down and he showed Vince. He was like, look at this. I'm leaving. I need to quit. I need to get help. And apparently he had a big bruise or his balls were blue, and he was like, I'm leaving. I mean,
he's also perked out of his fucking mind.
And then Dixie went, that addiction you have, can we use that in TNA? We'll bring you in. You work about 2 weeks, and that's it. You're home for the rest of the month. You work 2 weeks and 1 pay-per-view, and you can do your man. Kurt was like, oh fuck yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that.
But yeah, it's a nothing match again. Just set up 2 minutes 30. Before the final, of course, we get my main event, which turned out to be the main event of the night. We have Johnny Nitro and Shelton Benjamin defeating Carlito in a 2-on-1 handicap match. We got the most basic bitch promo from Carlito initially. He's just like, I was laughing at the Jonathan Coachman stuff, and then he put me in a handicap match. That's not cool. But IC title match on Sunday, that's cool.
We also got 2 promos, I believe. One of them was Jonathan Coachman sitting down with DX, and then another one was DX shoving Jonathan Coachman's head through a wall and then pulling down his pants, and he's wearing a thong. And they go, who wears thongs? Why do men don't wear thongs?
Never me.
And then Triple H basically it's like, I don't. Thongs,
yeah,
no.
Obviously the joke is they both wear thongs. They're wrestlers. Everybody wears a fucking thong.
And basically, yeah. And then we get Johnny Nitro and Shelton Benjamin against Carlito. And it was a nothing match. It
was very weird to think of, because I think Carlito was supposed to be face, which is very odd because it's Carlito and he's not a face at all. He's never a natural face by any means, and it's just strange. Obviously Shelton, I think, was a heel, and Johnny Nitro as well, but ultimately I could see Carlito winning it, but it's probably just going to be Shelton again, because Shelton is the king of that IC title. Just to have a brief, interesting discussion about the IC title. What did you think of that belt?
Obviously, I'm more of a fan of the I think it was introduced in the late 90s till 2011, 2012. I'm obviously a big fan of that. I never grew up with that belt, but looking at that belt, I'm like, I love that belt. I'm also a big fan of the white belt, the white strap.
The one that Cody brought back in 2011.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of that, but if I could combine the two, where I have the white strap and the oval design, it would be probably my favourite title of all time. But my favourite title of all time is I'm trying to think, what is my favourite title of all time?
And mine's Big Goldie, of course.
I think mine is the Undisputed Championship, the big O2 one, or just the NXT UK tag titles, because even though WWE had shit tag titles, they put a lot of effort into giving NXT UK.
They had some fantastic belts.
Yeah, they could probably bring them up to Raw if you wanted to.
In terms of one of my favourite underrated belts, I do love the Bobby Roode TNA Impact World Title. Just a nice. It was basically it was Big Goldie, but with TNA in the middle, and more angled around the side. Oh, it's a beautiful belt.
Another beautiful belt to me is the AEW belt. I know people don't like it because it's literally just a big gold belt with AEW on it, but I like the simplicity. I prefer that over a big fucking W in the center place.
Of course.
But
and one belt I say that's underrated, and I get to give ICW my love. ICW's Women's World Title is absolutely fucking incredible. Let's fucking get that bitch up on the screen. It's like the world title, but it's slightly larger and slightly wider. Oh, it's an absolute gorgeous piece kit. So for champions, never actually used the ICW type. Obviously, I get to rep my boys one time. Fucking hell, hurry up, mate! Jesus.
But yeah, I understand people like Ryback, but belts are just props. They're not. They're actual. To me, they're actually matter in wrestling.
I mean, you want it to... Oh, wow, that's a terrible fucking photo of it. Basically, it's like that, but a bit fucking wider. Oh, that's absolute gorgeous bit of kit. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, that is...
Even the 0G title's beautiful. The tag belts are shit, though. Fuck them. They're fucking garbage, but whoa.
They look... Do you know what the tag belts look like? They look like the Cruiserweight Championship that was brought back in 2016.
True. It does have that angular plate. But yeah, these 3 belts are fucking unbelievably nice looking. But yeah, that's just, that's that aside. Yeah, this era IC title is quite nice. I like it, but it's probably a bit nostalgia talking, as I remember a lot of that belt. But I also like the one they brought back. I don't like the current one, but I don't know. There's something about belts that are just quite nice. Because you want it to look prestigious. You want it to be something that everybody wants to have, whether it's in legacy and history, or just going, man, this looks fucking good.
I think
because like Steve Austin with a belt around his waist looks so much fucking better than Steve Austin without, right? Like it completes the look for a lot of people.
I do think though there is like this thing in wrestling that I like to call like where you associate a wrestler with a belt. Famously, people would associate the Honky Tonk Man not with his Hall of Fame ring, but with the IC title. If you're modern like us, you'd associate the IC belt, the current IC belt, with Gunter/Walter.
Yeah.
Which still, side note, still pisses me off that the intro to Gunter's theme is Symphony Number 9, but then it goes to Gunther, and I'm like, give me back Symphony Number 9, please.
Yeah, it's not like you have to pay for it. It's royalty free, lads. You can use Symphony Number 9.
But I don't care about the name Gunter anymore. Didn't like the fact that his last name was supposed to be named after a World War II Nazi German airboat or something.
Nah, that was so it wasn't.
But
was that Ludwig?
No, that was Gunther. Gunther initially had a last name, but they had to ditch it. I don't mind Gunther, but still, I do think there is wrestlers you associate belts with. Like, do you really associate the internet title that Zack Ryder had with anyone else? No. Do you associate the...
Yeah, but it had his fucking face on it. Of course nobody's going to fucking have it.
Well, you never know.
Literally the only one who had that fucking belt ever.
Okay, how about the winged eagle championship? I associate that with Austin.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really... Like I said, I haven't actually watched a lot of wrestling, so... I do generally associate Big Goldie with Triple H.
Yeah. Like, for me, who do I...
Obviously, the fucking spinner belt is Cena.
Or Punk. But it is Cena. Although I would say Punk. But, like, NWA title, I'm not going to, like, fucking go Tyrus. Tyrus is who I remember. Because everyone knows. I remember one person, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, I don't associate that belt with anyone else but Jeff Jarrett. But the NWA belt is pretty underrated. Like, it's a...
I don't think so. I think it definitely got its shine. It's just fallen a bit out of grace because obviously NWA is still somewhat in prominence, but it's also not really at the finest point in its existence,
And at the time,
remember a couple years ago where NWA Power was on YouTube for free, and everybody's like, "Yeah, fucking Power's great," and what a fall from grace.
I do remember it's still recent. NWA might have got their TV deal cancelled because they did a cocaine spot on their TV.
Yeah, they were going to have a show on the CW, which is I mean that channel fucking cancels shows all the time. But mostly we had the Batman show. Had like Gotham. Yeah, had some cool shit on there. Yeah, that's fine. Regardless, let's carry on here. Obviously, after this match, we had the best promo of the night, as we see. Hold on. We see the Highlanders. Fucking 2 men from Scotland, and they cut a very WWE promo.
Do you want to do it?
Oh, Jesus.
Come on.
It's like, oh fuck. I'm not on the flow. Just, Robbie, we're in America. We're in one of your castles, Robbie. We're at Gary's Lodge Inn. And then they don't know how to work a fucking door. Gary, let us in. Come on. And then Rory, the slightly crazy looking one who looks like one of the fucking wildlings out of Game of Thrones, like, knocks on the doors and goes, "Hey mate, I'll fucking sort this now." And he just barges through the fucking door. You know, door off the fucking hinges. They just put it back. And then they carry on the promo. They're watching the TV. It's like, "Oh, lads, this TV... I keep wanting to swear because it's fucking Scottish. Come on now. It's a natural fucking pastime. So, there's no football on. There's nothing going on here, lads." And then it's fucking...
I think Rory.
And then, Rory's like, hey, Robbie, go back 2 channels. You know, that says adult titles. And then he's like, "Yeah, Robbie, we are adults. And we want them world titles. We want them world tag team titles." And it's like, what are you doing, lads?
And then the massive graphic comes up, Highlanders coming to Raw.
But it's Robbie... "Hello, I'm Robbie and Rory McAllister." It's like, what?
I don't know what
They were there for about a year, honestly, and I'm kind of sad we don't get to see them because they were okay. They were enjoyable enough. I'm sure they're like, "Sweet fucking gig here, lads. What? We're fucking from Scotland. We're in WWE on Raw. Like, sick." It's just kind of wild.
I don't know why, but your impression of Sky kind of reminds me of Zach Gibson for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, those are Piggy's opinions and Piggy's opinions alone. But yeah, it was a fucking garbage. Like, why is the first bit of them trying to figure out how to open a door?
Gary's lodging.
Like, Rory, I don't know how to open the door. We're all the way here from fucking Scotland, eh? We're in America. And I suppose the punchline of the promo is they watch the porn channel. They're like, "Oh, I love America."
Like, porn doesn't exist in Scotland. And doors.
They only have magazines in Scotland.
Doors don't even exist in Scotland.
But yeah, the best line is, it's like, Robbie, go back 2 channels. That said adult titles. It's like, we are adults, aren't we, Robbie? And we want them world tag titles. And they're like smiling, watching the porn. Obviously, the sexy jazz music plays. And they're like, "Oh, God. Shut that fucking door, Robbie."
The fucking door's not working out, Robbie.
They are the Highlanders. Yeah, they're good fun.
It's just a shame that they got fired because one of them appeared on TNA. It's like, "Do not show me on screen. Do not. Here's a Highlander from WWE. Look at him in TNA. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Cameron panned on him like that. Look at
fucking
him.
Hell.
Look at him."
What carny shit that is. They're not even that famous, lads.
And then WWE were like, "We told you not to go to any other show. You're fired." And I'm like, you could have demoted them to ECW.
True. They would have fit right in. They actually look like 2 ECW originals. Also, they have the cheapest, like, shit fake fur coats known to man. They are awful, but they are token Scottish. They've got a kilt on, they got some fur, and they're obviously both very Scottish, but not really. They're doing the fucking Drew McIntyre. It's like, "Aye, we're from Scotland," and it's like, oh, Jesus. You know, I get that you can't just speak like your normal selves, but fuck me. You don't have to do the, like, you know, Drew's promo is like, "Look, I'm Drew McIntyre." And, you know, he's not even... It's like when Joe Hendry does a promo in fucking Impact or TNA, where he's just like, "Hello, I'm Joe Hendry." You know, fucking...
I'm the local hero.
I'm Joe Hendry. 220 pounds of gold. And it's like, come on, Joe, you don't sound like that now. I get that you're dumbing it down for the Americans, but fuck me. Come on. It's more fun if you're stupidly Scottish.
And then the main event of the night, because the segment close to the show, we see Edge with Lita and Mick Foley's out ringside in commentary. Also, me and Ash will have to review a Mick Foley versus Ric Flair 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm not saying Foley's past his prime in '06, but he's...
I mean, as is Ric Flair.
Right, well, let me just get to it. Foley, yeah, his body has been through the work, let's be honest, throughout the 90s. And then you have Flair, who's in his early to mid-50s. Like...
Why?
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 You could have put Foley with anyone else. And then obviously, going into SummerSlam, we get the... Oh. I don't know what that was. But
he's having a wank. He's having a wank with a broken wrist.
Hulk Hogan. Come on, you do your Hulk Hogan.
Hey, I'm good, mate. I'd rather not wank off the air. Yeah, no, this match was shit. It basically... all these I know that Vengeance is in a week. I know they want the pay-per-view vice because it is a pay-per-view model, but fuck me. You could have done a bit more than this, lads. Ric Flair low blows Edge, and then Lita gets up on the apron, and then... What's Rick trying to hit? He goes to the figure 4, it turns around, Foley's there with Socko, hits the mandible claw, spear, 1, 2, 3, big dub for Edge, who's obviously facing RVD at Vengeance. And yeah, like, how long did this Edge and Mick Foley alliance last?
I think
because I swear Foley leaves the company like fairly soon.
He doesn't leave the company. I think he just goes back into hiding, basically, after SummerSlam '06.
And he shows up in TNA.
He shows up on SmackDown and does commentary, and they're like, I'm not having Vince yell in my ear, I'm going to TNA.
Yeah.
And then he has some matches with Sting. I strictly remember, I don't know if it was a Sting match, but I strictly remember the one where he has a cage match, I think, with Sting. I remember seeing that when I was a child. And Foley got all bloody. That's why I love Foley. Like, Foley is such a nice guy. Like, if I heard bad things about Foley, there isn't many wrestlers where I'd be like, he's a piece of shit in real life. But if I heard Foley was a piece of shit in real life, I'd be like, you're telling me lies, Ash. And
terrible comedian.
But okay, he's a terrible comedian. But like, if you told me he kicked babies down the stairs, he deported Mexicans, then I'd be like,
I mean, everybody's largest gripe with Foley is just he was really fucking stingy. So...
yeah, I watched this Triple H story where he basically wore the gear to wrestle in, and then he'd wash himself and dry himself with his gear, then put his gear back on, and then just go travel to the next town. Not even bring a suitcase, just a bag of clothes.
Yeah.
Not even a bag, just a bundle of clothes.
Like a sack.
Which I understand, you're not getting paid, like, they're not covering your hotels or anything. But Foley, you could, like, he didn't even sleep in hotels, he just slept on the bench or something. Like,
no, he'd sleep on a floor.
Yeah. Like, I understand you're not getting that well paid in the 90s, you're not getting that paid well because they're not a big company. But, come on, you surely could pay for your room. Like, come on.
Nah, why? Someone else to do it for you. Is that textbook like veterans thing where the veterans are like, you're paying for this room. Okay. Sound.
You're going to grab me a 24-pack of beers. Why? Because I'm JBL and
I'm Sandman.
I'm JBL and I'm a veteran and you do what I say.
Yes. But let's get into the final segment of the night, which is DX. Break it down. They come to the ring. They do their like, ooh, let's get ready to suck it.
Oh, Sean does this. He doesn't do that. He can't, because he's born again Christian, so he can't really start doing that. So he has to kind of do this.
Yeah.
Up in the air, because if he starts,
I can't tell people to suck it.
The Lord wouldn't want me to do that.
I mean, it's totally not a way to just act like you're no longer a piece of shit, even though you probably are. Still not a way to do that, of course. Who does that? Not Sean.
Famously, SummerSlam 05. Oh yeah, Hogan doesn't want to work with you. Yeah, well, tell Hogan I'm going to fucking outsell him.
Yeah.
And then oversell. I understand it's Shawn Michaels. But even I love the match. Even though I think, I know Hogan's not the best person to work with. He's probably one of the worst people to work with.
Absolute diva shit.
Yeah. But why would you oversell Hogan? Like, I understand you're Shawn Michaels. And let's just say if AJ Styles was in the company at that time, if AJ Styles did that, he'd get fired. But it's Shawn Michaels.
You're Shawn, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, which it still pisses me off. He's probably still like that today. with NXT.
I mean, it's like how Sean's. It's like how suddenly Triple H is leaving, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Sean, you want to be involved here, right? Yeah, I run NXT now." Sound like it's nonsense.
Yeah, I do love how Triple H, Road Dogg, Shawn Michaels, I can't even say Billy Gunn. It's Billy Gunn still wrestling. I love how they all were like, they were all DX members, but they were all like, yeah, fuck the man, fuck the system, break it down. And now 3 out of the original 5 are like...
What's Road Dogg doing now?
Road Dogg's a producer, I believe, or he was a producer.
Probably got fired.
He might have got fired, but it's Triple H, they'll rehire him.
Yeah.
Road Dogg's a producer, John runs NXT, and Triple H, of course, creative executive. It used to be Triple H says to Vince, look, I think Johnny Gargano should beat Gunther for the title, and Vince would be like, no. But now Triple H can be like, Triple H, do you know what I think? What Triple H? I think Johnny Gargano should beat Roman Reigns for the world title. You're a genius, Triple H. And basically...
God, that fucking thought alone sent me to sleep.
But and then X-Pac is basically helping the writers.
He's doing whatever he wants, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just helping the writers strike. He's gone down and marching with the writers.
He's just fucking about. He's having a great time.
And then Billy Gunn's in AEW telling people to scissor them.
Exactly.
Do you want a scissor?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, the final segment is obviously the DX. So get ready to suck it. 3 words for you. Suck it. 2 suck it's probably not really ideal. And they go, oh, come on, Spirit Squad. Get out here. And who comes in and watch your fucking verbiage as we get the dwarf wrestlers?
Yep.
Notice the dwarf wrestlers. No other words gonna be used. They're dwarf wrestlers.
Yeah, we get the dwarfs and they come out. And basically, Triple H says, Spirit Squad, you're gonna come up a little bit short. Ha ha.
Dwarf. Ha ha. Small. Ha ha.
And then basically, Triple H puts a blindfold on Shawn.
Oh, well, no, hold on. He super kicks one of them. Oh, well, I must say, the super kick was quite funny.
I don't know where it was released, but apparently there was like a Zoom meeting of Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker in like a Zoom call, and Shawn Michaels was like, I love modern day wrestlers. They use my finisher. They're really keeping my finisher alive. And like Undertaker's like, your finisher set up for another move now. And Shawn's just laughing to himself like, yeah, it is.
Just crying his eyes out.
He's like, fuck. He's just watching a Young Bucks match. He's like, oh, fuck's sake.
At least the pile driver is still protected. Not on AEW, of course.
In WWE it is. Fairly rarely used. But yeah, and then basically there's also a Triple H joke because Shawn goes, who would get Stephanie pregnant? And obviously they don't want to acknowledge that Triple H is pumping Vince's daughter.
I mean, come on, it's 2006. Of course they fucking do.
And Triple H goes, whoever that guy is, I bet he has a 10-inch long.
Bubba.
Hulk Hogan, I have a 10-inch cock. Still a great promo.
But then they decide, this was Sean's doing though. Sean got the dwarf wrestlers. They're all coming out in Spirit Squad gear. But then he's like, well, I got to think, Triple H, I got to think about some different kind of cheerleaders. And he gets some booby cheerleaders to come out and fucking take the top off. Says DX. And then they're about to get the fucking tits out, Leak. Get them fucking tits out. Rory, I've discovered what the adult titles are. It's WWE Raw, which we're coming to in 2 nights. Once we figure out how to get out of this horse and carriage and we are into an actual motor vehicle. Because that's basically what they're like, apparently. Just kidding. Spirit Squad come out. They have a big old fight. Do they?
No,
they come out with the Raw locker room. We're gonna fight you, DX. We're gonna fight you guys. And then the Raw locker room fucks off. 2 guys get in the ring. Do they do any moves to them?
No, they get punched, and then they get sent up the ramp, and then Triple H brings in the dwarf wrestlers. They all get around. Triple H is like, we have 2 words for you, and the dwarf wrestlers pull down their pants, and on each of the butt cheeks it says "suck it." Well, no, it says SUCK on one butt cheeks, like so. one wrestler has S, one wrestler has U.
I like how you've had to explain it as if it's a very unfamiliar thing. It's WWE. They do it like once every 3 years.
And then basically the big fat one has like it. Just
he does have a gigantic ass.
That dwarf is packing, I tell you what.
And an absolutely mighty chungus.
But yeah, that was Raw. It was shit. But
me just like, yeah, we'll watch Raw, we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll watch Raw, then we'll watch ECW. Watch Raw. I'm going to bed. I'm fucking going to bed. I've had enough. Right, I'll do some maths here. I'll figure out how much actual match time there was. If I have a vague estimate, it'll be about 13 minutes of wrestling on your 2-hour wrestling show. Absolutely taking the piss, this is. Ultimately, very underwhelming, but as said before, we are going to be covering Vengeance. We are going to be covering ECW ahead as well, and we'll just go ahead and do all the shit in between. Hopefully, it's not as fucking awful as this is, but at least with WWE ECW, at least it is only 45 minutes, so it's not nearly as fucking long. The amount of promos where it's like, oh yeah, it's DX and they're gonna make Coachman look like an idiot, haha, penis. It's like, get me out, lads. Like, maybe you like DX still, but they are 40-year-old men being like, haha, cock, haha, balls. It's like, fuck's sake.
It was 14 minutes and 92. It's about. It was 15 minutes basically.
Yeah, but when you do a calculator, it doesn't really calculate time because there's only 60 seconds in a minute. So,
yeah, but still.
So it's roughly about 30 minutes. Yeah. Oh boy, I hope we don't have to cover that many fucking Raws.
Probably not.
Because this was dog rough. At least the favourite bits were obviously the Highlanders promo. Because it's just, why? It's like, hey, we're the lads for Scotland, eh? Robbie, I don't know how the door works. Rory, come on, mate. it's that over and over again. Absolute success. Didn't expect to see every match be a squash match though.
It is 2006.
Like I get that the obviously the wrestling at the time is build to the pay-per-view where we get the big long matches, really important, and obviously because they usually have the stories leading into it. Boom. Great match, great story, fantastic. Obviously now modern wrestling is just match. It's a bit of story, if you're lucky, and then they have a really long match and they try to do literally everything they possibly can, and then the match finishes, and then you're like, well, there'll be a second one, guys. Oh, fuck's sake. Why? Do I prefer 2006 wrestling to now?
Depends what promotion, really.
I see Duff.
Fuck, what were they doing in 06?
They existed. Rascal Dark Side, I believe, was their ICW World Champion.
Actually, the World Champion.
And then they dropped it to a little-known wrestler called Drew Galloway.
And then he fucked off to WWE in 08.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one more match. One more Raw, I should say. Let's hopefully not do this again. We'll be doing Vengeance, but it won't be in person, I don't think.
No.
So yeah, if you like our content, subscribe. You can follow us on Twitter /X.
DX.
At Watching Walford.
Balls.
You can follow us on Twitch at Watching Walford. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Watching Walford as well. And if you want Ash's personal stuff, it's Aqua Dreams on Twitch and Real Aqua Dreams on Twitter. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Balls.
DX. Balls.